Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. Tonight we're going for a beer from the brewery that is present on my t-shirt. Yep, it's Titanic. It is this one. It is Steerage. And Steerage I've had many times on cask, but never from a bottle. And what can I tell you about Steerage? Well, it is a 3.8% ABV pale ale that is listed as being fruity, golden and sessionable. Very handily on the back of the bottle you get a good bit of information about what's contained within the beer. I will start there first of all. The malts are listed as Maris Otter, Pearl, Wheat and Crystal malts. And the hops are listed as Pilgrim, Hercules, Northdown, Celia and Goldings. So I know exactly what to expect. Well, I know what to expect. I've had it on cask many times, as I say. Anyway, the tasting notes are listed as gold, refreshing, well-rounded pale ale. Soft and fruity, yet malty aromas with a slightly sweet taste on the palate. And the looks are listed as pale gold, the aromas as floral, hoppy and malty, and the taste dry, fruity and sweet, with a bitterness rating of 3.5 out of 5 and the sweetness smack bang in the middle at 2.5, and that information is right there on the back of the bottle. Very handy, very much appreciated. And it also gives you a little bit of a clue as to the heritage of the beer. It says Steerage was first brewed as Titanic's Best Bitter back in 1986. Sit back, relax and enjoy the trip. Well, when this was first brewed, I was under the legal drinking age by quite some way. Anyway, let's open it up and do a bit of a review. See what we think. So we're going to be pouring into the Titanic pint glass, of course. And the pour is golden, clear, well carbonated. Let's get that little bit of a head on there. There we are. There is your pint in a glass. Pale ale at its finest. It is crystal clear, golden in colour, decent levels of carbonation coming up the glass and culminating in a nice white frothy head that is reasonably compact. Well, it is very reasonably compact and consistent, and it's hanging around for a little bit nicely as well. I do like the Titanic pint glass, I must say, ladies and gents. It's a nice solid chunk of glass. Feels very sturdy in the hand. Anywho, let's have a whiff. Yep, you get those bitter aromas. You get the crystal malt. It's obvious. It is the epitome of crystal malt aroma. Yeah. The Goldings hops are shining through as well. Yeah, I get lots of Goldings and lots of the crystal malt. As for the taste, now, like I say, it's been a while since I've had it on cask in the White Star in Stoke. It always goes down well, it's that or iceberg. But tonight we're having Steerage in a bottle for the first time. Cheers! Yeah, it is that blend of bitter crossed with a pale ale. And it's a little bit, it's a bit of a head masher if you've never had it before. Because you're not used to getting that kind of bitterness that you would expect from a bitter or an amber ruby type ale in a pale, but it works really well. It's very well balanced. You get that bitterness up front and then it fades into those crystal malts, and then the hops kind of just sing a merry dance all over your tongue right at the very end. I mean, from looking at the channel you'll see a good mix of craft beer and real ale, and this is as traditional as a pale ale will come. It's lovely. And at only 3.8% ABV, you can sit and enjoy plenty of these on a hot summer's day. Well, maybe not so much at the minute in a pub garden because we're still in lockdown, which, yeah, it's been a bit of irony really, isn't it? You know, we've had glorious weather in the middle of this lockdown where we can't go out into a nice pub garden and sit and enjoy the beer. So it's good to support your local breweries in this time, ladies and gents. Go down, order the beer online, just keep them going and they'll be there for us at the end of it. Back to the beer. The body is kind of middling. It's not a heavy beer. It's not as sort of thick and unctuous as some, but it ain't far behind. The finish is nice and sort of bitter at first, and then it fades to that crystal malt right at the end. There's no real hop presence on the finish other than the little bit of the Goldings, a little bit of the Hercules type thing that's going on. And yeah, it's just a generally very well balanced, easy drinking, sessionable pale ale with a bitter hit to it. Delicious. So, Steerage. What do I think of you? Would I buy you again in bottle form? Because I've had it on cask many times. Yes, I would. Simple as that. It ticks my boxes. It's bitter. It's hoppy. It's a sensible ABV. And it drinks above the 3.8%, I will hasten to add. There are some beers that you drink and you think, where is the ABV? It's not there at all. This one, it's got all the flavour, and you think you're drinking something quite a bit stronger than you actually are. And that is a rarity. You know, you actually feel like you're getting a decent pint of beer with a decent ABV, and it's only 3.8. So that is a very pleasant surprise if you've never had it before. Does it fulfil the brief enough to say, would I rush out and buy it again? It says it's fruity. There is an element of fruit. It's golden. Absolutely. It's sessionable. Yeah, 3.8%. It absolutely 110% is. Does it fulfill the tasting notes? Gold, refreshing, well-rounded pale ale. Yes, it's very refreshing. It's well-rounded. It's balanced. Like I say, you get the bitterness first, then you get the sweet malt, and then you get a bit of the hop as well. Very well balanced. A soft, fruity yet malty aroma. Let's go back to that. It's definitely malty. I'm getting a little bit of coffee. So just a little sip in the mouth just to see if that alters how it smells. I know it sounds weird, but obviously with the ENT all interlinked, there is an element of sort of reliance and dependency of each phase on each other. The olfactory thing is wonderful. I'm not getting a huge amount of the fruit on the aroma. Yes, in the taste. And it says it's a slightly sweet taste on the palate. Yeah, the sweetness comes in the finish. So yeah, it does fulfill the brief. It's pale gold, it's floral. Yeah, maybe. Not a huge amount. Hoppy and malty, definitely. Dry, fruity and sweet. Yeah, it's dry. Not overly so, but there is an element of dryness on the finish. Perhaps not so much in the mouth. It's bitter, 3.5. Yeah, I agree with that, and I appreciate that fully. And it's middling on the sweetness. And again, I can't disagree with that. So all in all, absolutely, I'd rush out and buy that again. Like I say, on cask, it's really, really, really good. So smooth. There is a difference in the delivery. The cask version seems a little less carbonated and a little bit smoother in the mouth, whereas this one, it's a little bit more effervescent, which, let's face it, it's a bottled beer. You get that. And that is one of the sacrifices that we make when going for bottled over casks, which, let's be honest, we don't have a lot of choice at the moment. But yeah, let's give it a score. Is it perfect? It's not far off. There we go. I never thought that a 3.8% bottled beer would tick many of my boxes in the way that this one has done. On cask, yeah, it's hard to find a reason to knock points off. And in fairness, it's hard to find a reason to knock points off now. It ticks my boxes. It's hoppy. It's bitter. There is an element of fruit. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. And the value for money and the sessionability speaks for itself. It's about £2 a bottle. I picked this up in the pub in a box, which this is part of the playlist of, and somewhere around up there, maybe down there, somewhere there will be a link to the playlist. Go and check out the rest of the videos as and when they appear. You know, so the whole box, 12 beers, of which this was one, was £25. So it's decent value, let's be honest. So I'm struggling to find reasons to knock many points off, and I can't knock many off. I would like a little bit more hop presence, but that's about it. So I can see no reason to give Steerage anything less than 4.75 out of 5 on the old Untapped score sheet. And there we are. another lovely beer from Titanic, which is no real surprise really because they make great beer. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, if you've tried steerage before, be it on cask or in a bottle, let me know in the comments section down there. And again, there's some buttons down there. You've got the likes, dislikes, you've got the comments section and the subscription button. Use any combination of them as you wish. And I'm going to go and drink the rest of this beer and leave you to it and say, this has been a beer. I've been Nick, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye.